What's going on, everybody? Gamer King Tar Heel here, and sorry I didn't post a video I think the last couple days. I've been working on a pretty big project for my YouTube channel, so hopefully that will be up tomorrow. I'm not sure how you guys are going to respond to it, but in the meantime, I do have a Barbarian video for you guys for Diablo 3, getting us ready for Diablo 3. It's almost May 15th, Diablo 3 is coming out, so let's go ahead and talk about the Barbarian a little bit. Now, when I think of the Barbarian, I kind of feel like I need to get into like that professional wrestling, UFC boxing, like announcer mode, like, the Barbarian from Mount Arret, the Northern Highlands, coming in at 285 pounds of solid muscle. He is the Diablo Slayer, the Slayer of Demons, the Barbarian. Like, I just feel like, you got to get all hyped up for the Barbarian. I just absolutely love how the Barbarian plays. He's kind of like, he's from the old school of, hack 'em, slash 'em. I'll use an example. You'll see in the video that we're doing the Jar of Souls here. And in the Jar of Souls, you have to defend against a certain skeletons in a certain number of times in the beta for a certain amount of time. And, I did this with the Demon Hunter also. And the Demon Hunter, I had to kite, I had to drop traps and, use my ranged weapons and check them around it. And that was fine. It was a tactical way to do it. I got the job done. The Barbarian would have none of that. You just leap into the middle of the pile. You start smashing skeletons. You start separating bone from neck, and it's just awesome. There's no fear. When I roll my first hardcore character, my first character is probably gonna be the Witch Doctor, but next might be my next hardcore character, and there's no doubt to me it's gonna be a Barbarian. So let's go through the basics of the Barbarian. The Barbarian is your melee powerhouse. He's going to be your, your dual wielding with two-handed weapons. Your beast on the battlefield. He's also going to be able to be your tank. He's also going to be able to equip heavy shields and take heavy damage on the battlefield. So he's going to be able to sword and board, or he's going to be able to dual wield melee combat, close melee combat. We're going to have shouts as well. The shouts are returning from the previous game. Shouts are going to be short-term abilities that you can, weaken enemies with shouts, or you can inspire your teammates as well. So your cohorts, you'll be able to put a shout and give them buffs, or you're going to be able to, put a negative effect on your opponent. The resource used by the Barbarian is Fury. Now, if you've ever played World of Warcraft, or you've heard about it, the warrior, it's kind of like rage that the warrior uses in World of Warcraft. So essentially, when you're beat upon or you're beating upon an opponent, you gain Fury, and therefore you have, the more you attack an opponent or the more damage you take, you'll get more Fury, and therefore you'll be able to use your special attacks in combat. So the more enemies that are around, the Barbarian always wants to be in combat. You lose Fury very quickly when you're outside of combat, and you do not start with Fury in combat. So oftentimes being out of combat and going into combat is the most dangerous time for a Barbarian. If you haven't been able to tell already, I love the Barbarian. There's something freeing about the game being so simple. Click, 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 and boom, all your enemies are dead. Leaping into battle, no fear, no hesitation, just running in and just smashing everything. There's something very freeing about that. The Barbarian's a blast to play. We'll see how they're able to keep the Barbarian interesting. I do like the fact of being able to switch, from being a dual wielding offensive powerhouse to being able to a sword and board defensive powerhouse, and how that's going to play in groups. I'm interested in to see, at the higher levels, I think the Barbarian's going to be a key piece, but hopefully they'll be able to keep it from not being repetitive in the long run. Well, guys, that is it for my Barbarian video. Again, hopefully I'll have a special little thing going up tomorrow. As always, guys, hit those like buttons, hit those sub buttons, leave me comments, let me know what you guys want to think. As always, I do my best to respond to the majority of the comments out there. So that's it, guys. Have a good weekend, and new video should be up tomorrow. Take care. Out.